Right.
And we have had a heck of a time getting employees. And when you get employees, a lot of times they don't show up. So what we would like to see when President Trump rolled out more immigration things today is there be some work permits or some kind of visa system where people can come here to work. If everybody goes back to Mexico, we're not going to have any laborers. We're not going to have laborers for the onion sheds, for the fields, for anything. And we're also afraid that when the construction starts again to rebuild here, a lot of the workers are going to go there, and they're not going to be available for the fields or the onion sheds or anything else. We don't have enough laborers here right now.
Yeah, and that's where we've got to tackle the whole immigration issue. I grew up on a cherry orchard in Hood River, and I told people if we hadn't had guest workers, quote unquote, the cherries still be hanging on the trees. And by the way, the pear growers tell me that, and the onion growers were just back telling me that. And it is something we need to get to where there's a legal system where the people you hire are legal to be here and do that work, and you're legal to hire them. And we can't get the cart ahead of the horse. If we go to E-Verify before we have that piece figured out, people are going to discover just how many jobs are being filled by others. And so we've got to get there. Now, I also believe you have to get border security in place, or we'll just repeat this whole thing. In '86, when Simpson-Mazzoli, those were the people that passed the last immigration law signed by President Reagan, he did the whole thing. Amnesty, employer sanctions, border security. Well, that didn't work too well. And now we're back with far more people here without documentation than then. And so we've got to get it right this time. Now, that doesn't mean you have to build a wall from one end of the country to the other. In fact, my friends in Texas would tell you, watch out, the two most hated words in Texas are eminent domain. And a lot of the property along the Rio Grande is private property. And so they're saying there are other ways. And in fact, the president's order today speaks to that. Let's be smart about it. A wall where it makes sense. And I voted to, build it, 700 miles of it, back in whenever. In fact, it passed the Senate with 80 votes. This was back in 2006 or somewhere in there. Authorized building of the physical wall, which can also be double barrier fence and a road in between. But then let's also use modern technology. With drones, with other techniques, you can manage. I mean, if you watch Rick Perry, Texas has their own patrol boats for the Rio Grande because it's better to do it by boat. And so we need to be smart about it. But you have to get border security, in my opinion, because if you don't, a country doesn't have control of its borders, doesn't have control of its security. And once you get that piece, then the rest of this you'll be able to manage from then on, in theory. And so I think with modern technology, we ought to be able to conquer this. If I can take out a card out of my wallet from my local Columbia State Bank in Hood River and put it in a machine in Washington, D.C. and get cash out, you tell me we can't use technology to make everybody legal. Of course, in Washington, there's a lot of cash that comes out. It's just all over the, they got jet fuel in the printing press back there. But you know what I mean. I mean, there's a way to get this thing done so the people you hire are legal.